Today's forecast calls for mostly sunny skies in New York City with a high near 89 and a low near 69. It's Thursday, July 3rd, and this is your Boroughs in Brief.
The next stop.
Fueled by money from DoorDash, Airbnb, and Uber, PAC spending in council races has more than doubled. The following comes from The City, Lizzie Walsh, Marina Samuel, Samantha Maldonado, and Jonathan Custodio. In a record-breaking season for outside spending in a New York City election, the City Council saw the sharpest surge driven by special interest groups and corporations pushing back on efforts to expand business regulations. While total independent spending across all primary contests rose by 12.5% from 2021, spending in council races more than doubled, jumping from $6.6 million to $14.3 million this year. Voters likely witnessed this deluge in the profusion of ads targeting contested council races that jammed mailboxes and airwaves alike. Under New York state law, independent expenditure groups can spend money on advertisements supporting or opposing candidates' campaigns, but cannot coordinate with the campaigns themselves. Just under half of the total spending on these local races was put forth in support of incumbent candidates. In the 31 contested races, 20 incumbents prevailed. Airbnb was the single biggest spender on council primaries, shelling out $2 million in support of 12 candidates through its group Affordable New York, which also spent just over $1.3 million opposing mayoral candidates Assemblymember Zoran Mamdani, City Controller Brad Lander, and former City Controller Scott Stringer. In 2022, the council passed a law that heavily restricts short-term rentals, but a bill is pending that would permit some homeowners to list their property on Airbnb. Uber came in second in total spending, shelling out $2.4 million across another 12 council races. The council is currently considering a bill that would make it harder to kick drivers off the platform. Common Cause Executive Director Susan Lerner said the swell of outside spenders in this year's council election was unprecedented. Here's a breakdown of where some of that money went and how candidates backed by this wave of outside money fared. We begin in Brooklyn Bed-Stuy's District 41. Incumbent council member Darlene Mealy was the beneficiary of $1,013,855 in independent advertising expenditures, the second highest amount spent on behalf of any city council candidate. Mealy, who faced 8 opponents in the primary, none of whom received any outside spending, secured her seat with 65% of the final round votes. Mealy's top donors were rideshare company Uber, who contributed $334,684 via their Uber NY PAC, and New Yorkers for a Better Future 2025, which gave $257,215. The latter group's top donor was billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman. Looking at Queens, outside spending flowed heavily to Queens District 28, where 5 challengers faced off to replace Council Speaker Adrienne Adams' soon-to-be vacant seat. Tyrell Hankerson, Adams' chief of staff, drew nearly $1 million in ad spending from 9 independent expenditure groups, more than any other city council candidate. Hankerson won with 59% of the vote. Hankerson received backing from 9 independent groups, including Airbnb's Affordable New York and DoorDash-supported Local Economies Forward NY. As the city reported last month, DoorDash was also the initial donor to a group supporting Adrienne Adams' mayoral campaign. Over to the Bronx and Manhattan. Independent expenditure groups poured more than $1.6 million into the Upper Manhattan/South Bronx District 8 race to replace term-limited council member Diana Ayala. About half of that money supported Ayala's chief of staff, Elsie Encarnacion, who garnered a combined $820,680 in support from 8 outside spending groups. Chief among them was Airbnb-backed group Affordable New York, helping Encarnacion win 58% of final round votes to replace her boss. Up until late May, ending homelessness and building a better NYC was the only independent expenditure group involved in the District 8 race, supporting candidate Will Lopez with $365,164 in early spending. Operated by Tomas Ramos, who managed social services nonprofit group Oyate, the local super PAC involved in 7 city council races was entirely funded by Wall Street financier Michael Jenkins. Finishing second with 42% of the vote, Lopez also received a $126,675 boost from New Yorkers for a Better Future, funded by lobbying firm Capital Consulting. Find the rest of this story at thecity.nyc. And while you're there, sign up for The Scoop. You'll get the latest stories from the city delivered to your inbox each morning, and you can cancel anytime. Just head to thecity.nyc. That's all for now. My name is Imran Sheikh. Make sure to support and subscribe to your local New York news outlets like the ones you heard today.
The next stop is
Spoken Layer.